So it is 10:53 and this is my dinner. I'm having kale juice, cucumber, water. James is having a sandwich. I'll talk to you about that in a moment. This is going to be unpleasant for me. All right, that's up. So, oh, my bikini of the day. It's not very fancy. It's just a regular kind of black bikini. I was gonna wear a fancy one today, but then the weather, it was looking like it was gonna be rain. Now it doesn't. So now I'm wearing an ugly bikini, and I might have been able to wear a pretty one and show it off, but oh well. Doesn't matter. I'm going to talk about a couple things. So yeah, for my first breakfast, I had my turmeric in quite a lot of ginger and cucumber juice, because I bought 36 cucumbers on Sunday, and now I have to use them, which is, I don't know if you can see my beautiful bouquet of dill right here. I'll move it over so you can. Can you see it now? Yeah. Somebody gave me dill today. It smells so wonderful. And this is my mother's favorite herb. She loves eating it with all sorts of things. And you know, my tastes are not like my mother's. And always growing up, I was like she'll take, I'll talk about these in a minute. These I made last year. So I'm going to bring, I didn't make many last year, but I saved a jar. I managed to resist so that I can bring it to Mom, because she will love it. So I'll talk about this in a minute. But she'll drink pickle juice. Just pickle the vinegar stuff. Anyway, she has very, very different tastes than I do. So she does things like she comes from a French background, and I think that might have something to do with it. Like my mom, I wasn't really, I resisted being raised by my mother, and so I was really more, my influences are from my Ukrainian grandma. That's what I liked. All I wanted to eat was grandma's cooking. I didn't want anything my mom cooked. I would literally starve myself to avoid eating anything she had prepared for me. I didn't like it. Never liked her food. But she actually eats a lot of vegetables. And so now that I'm older, I appreciate that I'm very thankful that she was my mother, because I got my mitochondria from her, and without these very productive mitochondria, I don't know where I'd be, because my blood's so fat. It really makes it hard to breathe. It makes, so I don't think I'd be climbing mountains if it weren't for having come from her. So I'm very thankful. And anyway, I don't know where I was going with this, with the dill. 36 cucumbers. So these in here are long English cucumbers. And what I did was last year when I pickled them. I would have logged more than I'm sure, so at the time. But I measured out my size of my jar, and you gotta account for airspace so you get proper seal on your jars, right? So anyway, I measured it out. I measured my cucumbers and I cut them perfectly so that they would perfectly fit in the jar. And look how beautiful that looks, right? And so every time I look at those jars, I am pleased. And they're perfect if you use long English cucumbers for making pickles like this. They grow perfectly straight, and they are grown locally because they don't ship well. So once you take them out of that plastic wrap, you can go ahead and eat. That's kale, cucumber, water.
Okay, good. Thanks for putting them in order.
Yeah. So, oh dear, where was I? Oh, once you take them out of the plastic wrap, the cucumbers, there's no wax on them. You don't have to worry about that. Whereas the field cucumbers, they wax them. So if you're buying your cucumbers from the store, then you would rather use long English cucumbers if you're going to pickle, because they're not waxed, and then you can keep the skin on them. And so use, also with using this size of jar, I can use the food processor to slice them, because I can make it, that's the perfect size of the food processor size, see? So this is a perfect jar for making sliced long English cucumber pickles, if you're going to use a food processor. If you're going to slice them by hand, then you'll have to be a good slicer, so you can, they're straight, right? Long English cucumbers are straight, so it shouldn't be that much trouble. But if you want to make like big long pickles that are sliced, then you'll have to slice them by hand, because they won't fit in the food processor. Anyway, so 36 cucumbers. So today I juiced 6 cucumbers, and we'll see if we get through that. So far, we're almost halfway through. And I probably shouldn't have done it all at once, because then it's not as high in nutrient, I know. But you end up with loss, right? Once you, like even if you cut your vegetables, you store them in the fridge, you lose nutrient. So I probably should have just done little at a time, but I didn't. So the rest of the juice is sitting in the fridge. The kale I just juice fresh. I juiced that just now, and I'll do that. I'm going to show you a little treat with the kale later. Remember I did broccoli cauliflower nuggets? Well, I'm going to do it with kale. And these next ones are going to be paleo, and I'll show you how. But not today. I was going to do it today because it was cloudy, and I thought, okay, well, something, you know, it'll rain, and then I can sit in front of the TV watching whatever comes in at the library. But it doesn't look like it's going to rain now. And
Not anytime soon.
no. So James's sandwich has tomato, orange bell pepper, and avocado on it. Not that fancy a sandwich.
Sure tastes fancy.
Well, there you go. But I gave him a lot of nutrients in that kale juice, so he's doing fine. And there's a lot of nutrients in there too, even though the bread, not so great. But, you know, there's, he was very excited about that bread. That was given to us, and we're very thankful for it. And it's a pizza cheese swirl. But, so, anyway, I should do better. I should make him my own. I should make him bread, because he likes eating bread, and I should do it. But we never have a problem with getting free bread, and we don't have a lot of money right now, so that seems to be the sensible thing to do. Maybe in a few years it'll make more sense for me to make bread. But right now I only have so much energy, and well, we'll see. Like, my back may be fixed soon. Like the doctor is on vacation right now, so I can't call to book an appointment till after July 30th. But that's coming up in a few days now. It's the 24th today. And yeah, so I'll be able to phone the doctor soon, make an appointment, and then who knows? I might be able to get back surgery right away. Well, I'm sure it won't be right away. There's probably a bit of a wait. Anyway, might be a couple years wait. You know, I really don't know how this works out, but the ball is now moving. I have the referral, and I have to make the appointment, and then it's, you know, it's going somewhere now. So I feel more optimistic. I'd really gotten down because nothing was happening. You know, and every time I was going into my GP that I had, it was like it was brand new. Like it was all starting from the beginning again. Every appointment, nothing was happening. And it was really getting me down. But I took control of my own situation. I made him give me a referral. He gave me the referral. And that was that. You know, I looked the information up for myself, and I went in and I had it all on a little post-it note. I had it all ready, and we'll see how it goes. Anyway, it's going somewhere now, whereas it was going nowhere before I took charge. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, girlfriends series. Now, I wouldn't recommend anyone watch this, even though it does have Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Watcher, what's his name, who was Giles, in it. I don't know what his name is. You know what? I don't care. Anyway.
Mr. Backup Actor. He's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I know. So, but this is like, well, it's made for a different generation than me. I'll admit to that. These are older women than I am. So, but still, even so, I don't want to watch a show about women that, like this one woman murders her husband. Or, well, we'll see. I guess if the next season he might come back again because she thought she'd murdered him right the first time. And he came back. So, anyway, and she's thrown him over into the water again. And she was very foolish about it. Like, these ladies are absolutely, well, I don't know how many women are good murderers. Are murderers often good at it? Maybe not. Maybe they do stupid things. But these women sure were stupid.
Well, the serial killer women tend to be very good at it. But,
oh, really?
Well, the big trouble is they go to the well too often.
Well, this woman's not a serial killer. She's just killed this one husband. But, I mean, it's taken her 2 times already, and she didn't get it right? And this last time, she stuck him in a suitcase. Well, the suitcase could be traced back to her, and obviously if his body's found, they know it's not accidental now. If he's in a suitcase in the water.
Well, the other trouble with the serial killer women is they tend to be motivated by money.
Yeah.
Not by weird, kinky whatevers. So the big trouble is they can always trace it back.
Well, they're going to trace it back to these women, surely. I don't see how these women get away with it.
Some people who kill someone's related to them. Well, the police are not really, really stupid. It's always cherchez la femme, or what's the bottom line? Like money.
Yeah.
So they look for people who are related somehow.
Oh, so the women serial killers, they always have motive?
The ones that I've heard about, there are very few of them. So I ran across one woman. My dad was watching this show, and I think she'd gotten down. She was married a 3rd time and killed 2 of her previous husbands, and she'd gotten away with it. She'd been a suspect in both. But I guess she was kind of blonde, and maybe the judges were seeing blonde and stuff like that. So another woman, I think she killed her. She had this is way back when, maybe the 19th century, she had boarders, kind of like maybe, but she ended up getting their money, right?
Mm.
So then there was Sweeney Todd's
Oh yeah.
Little Lump of Love. I think they had an item going.
Were they?
I'm not
I
sure.
don't know if they were.
Maybe not.
I don't think so. I think they were more like, it was more like a business arrangement.
I think so. Anyway, she was making money off of that, right?
Yeah.
And that one was good because they got rid of the body. Or
Yeah.
planned. Don't misinterpret it. But they got
Yeah,
rid
she
of
was
the
just
body.
involved in processing the meat and selling the
And
product.
making money off it.
Yeah, exactly. He was, for
He
him,
was
it
doing
was
the
just
killing.
the serial killer kind of thrill, I think, right? He was just a killer.
I think he was stealing the money.
Oh, he was stealing money too.
Well, guys would come in there with some money, correct? To cover for their shave.
Well, that can't bring in a lot of dough, though.
Well, it'd be things like pocket watches. Think about it. Like if you can afford to get someone else to shave you, theoretically, you got some cash on you.
Oh yeah, I suppose they wouldn't just walk in with money for the cut. It would be
Well, it might have been on a
they-
shopping expedition or whatever. So I don't know what the average guy could shave himself, right?
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't want anyone else shaving me if I had
especially with a
facial
straight
hair.
razor.
Jeesh.
yeah. Anyway,
Well, I do have facial hair. You can probably see it from there.
yeah.
It's because I'm blonde, and it's it's fine in the winter, but in the summer, I tan really, really well, and
Yeah, you get a bit of
yeah.
facial hair, but it's
Oh,
nothing.
well, it's you see, the thing is the sun makes the facial hair even more blonde, and then my skin darker, and so I have this, and I'm
Yeah,
covered
kinda-
with it.
it
I'm
kinda
covered
looks
with blonde hair,
But,
so it
yeah.
looks white right now, right against the.
Yeah, it's not noticeable.
Not very
Believe me,
attractive.
there are women with that much hair or more, and it's dark. So, wow.
Well, that would be less attractive,
Well,
but and it's soft. It makes me very soft, having all this hair on my body.
it
So
probably keeps
much
you warmer
hair.
in winter.
It might. I don't know. I don't have anything to compare it to because
Yeah.
like we were talking about. We were watching this show recently. Well, it was that CSI Cyber, and the one guy,
Oh,
the large man,
poor folks.
very bearish, and we were looking at his beard, and I mean, there's really not much to talk about when we're watching that show because there's not much to talk about in the show. So we're
It's
talking about him.
hilarious.
Okay.
Right.
So anyway, we're
Everything
talking.
was hilarious, but he was the most hilarious. I think.
So he seemed to be a topic of conversation, which that's not a bad thing. We were watching the show, and I mean, he was I guess attracting us to the show because he was a
Fun.
topic of conversation.
Poorly cast,
Anyway.
I think. But
Yeah.
go on.
But anyway, so which just made us talk about him more, I think.
Of course.
Anyway.
I loved his glasses, though. They kind of got lost in his face. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what you do if you got a big round pie face. Like,
I don't know.
but like if the glasses are kind of tight fitting and small lenses, they kind of get lost in the face. You know? It looks hilarious. They look as though they're embedded in the face.
I don't know if that's a problem.
Well, it just looks funny. It's not a problem. We were laughing. I was laughing.
Anyway, what we were talking about with his beard is I was saying he probably has to shave on the top part of his beard to make it, because he probably naturally has hair right up to his eyes almost, right?
Well, I'd say, yeah.
And you could see at the bottom.
He had a
it was
unibrow that probably
shaved
went
here.
to his beard, if you think about it.
Who
But
knows?
he definitely was cutting it down here. You could see it.
Yeah,
Shaved
and you
it.
could see it along
Cutting
here.
this
It
up.
was all perfectly cut, and
Yeah.
and then he'd wear the t-shirts. Like my dad wore
Yeah.
the t-shirts because he was, like he didn't want to show any kind of nudity, kind of, right? So, anyway, so he had a lot of his body hidden from. Anyway, that doesn't matter. I don't think that's why this guy was wearing the t-shirt underneath his shirt. I think it was because he was like, well, how far do I have to shave? This is already taking me 3 hours
He's got
a
a
day.
unibeard. You
Yeah.
heard of unibrow. unibeard all the way down to the knuckles of his
Totally.
toes.
And you know it's all over the back too, right? And so he's,
Oh,
my
of
gosh,
course.
he's got the mirror out and he's
Yeah.
doing the neck. And you know
Yeah.
when you got that kind of hair, you're doing it every day, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
I wonder if he shaves the knuckles.
Well,
and stuff.
he probably got the job because he was
Yeah.
like, whew, at least the makeup department can do my shaving now for me.
Oh,
Because, boy,
yeah,
this has
there-
taken me hours
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah. Oh, well, who knows? I
I
mean,
don't know.
it should be body alone. Shaving would be horrible.
Just
you know?
stay hairy.
It'd probably
What's wrong
sound
with
like
hair?
sanding when
know.
they shaved his body, right?
Except James's hair.
Yeah, well, I got a lot of hair.
He shaved today.
I did shave today.
Yeah.
I don't know if I did.
You
a
know
good
how
job.
I know?
It's
Because it
absolute-
grows back within seconds.
This is true.
Yeah.
I shaved this morning.
He has a lot of hair.
It's pretty
It's
raspy.
not on his head.
Yeah.
It's
you should
everywhere
hear the sound
else.
effects when I'm shaving. It's almost as bad as this as envisioning, but it's just like, it sounds like sandpaper.
Yeah, well, his hair is
You know?
like sandpaper.
So
it's
when
like,
someone jokes about
thick sandpaper,
shaving being like scraping your face, for me it is. It sounds like shit taking barnacles off a ship. You know?
yeah, it's incredible. I mean, trying to kiss him without him having shaved
That's
just
right.
seconds
It's-
before.
It's abrasive.
It's
very
very
abrasive
painful.
experience. Yeah, I can tell sort of like what it's like when it grows back in. I think it's all itchy and stuff like that on me, so pretty bad.
Yeah, I've never seen any hair like yours.
Yeah, I
It's
gotta make
so
sure not to
coarse.
go like this.
Really?
Well, it'll rip up my lips. Eh?
Wow.
So
Yeah.
once it gets growing back a bit, you know, like this, you know, you'll see people doing that. You know, whatever.
So you think that's the Scottish genes?
Well, it's the Neanderthal things, I think. Weren't they a big hairy piece?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Not that I'm big, but I am hairy. So.
But that's why you're so smart too.
Oh, I don't know. No, Neanderthals
supposed to
had
be
big
smarter.
heads, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they didn't survive. But that's been my general theory. You know, like the whole idea is it's been devolution. Like smart people don't survive. Just check out what happens to smart
Yeah.
people in high school. So, you know, the big thing is high school. There aren't that many guns and whatever, but there are a lot of them, but not like in real life. When people get out in real life. People can't stand smart people and they beat up on them and pick on them, whatever. So,
Yeah. Oh, and you look historically. When societies get too advanced compared to the people around them, the societies around them, they're taken down eventually.
well, it's not eventually. They don't even get to that point. Every so occasionally you'll get the
Oh,
Greeks did well for themselves.
Yeah, for quite
they
a while, and then they were taken down.
Well, they did well for themselves, but they got taken down by their fellow Greeks called Macedonians. The Macedonians were the ones who ended the Greek democracy. But the Macedonians are a bunch of horse barbarians, stupid idiots. Well, I don't know if they were that nomadic, but they did the horse thing. better
Dumb
than-
wins.
Better than, yeah. Alexander the Great was a big, not so great guy. You know, he was very good on the horse. And, hey, he's probably smarter than the average barbarian. Hey, he was a barbarian Greek. So, what can I
Yeah.
say?
So maybe educate yourself and keep really quiet
he
about
was
it.
educated by Aristotle.
Somebody's
that,
gonna
that
take you
wasn't,
down.
That wasn't enough. It was a big bump.
Keep it in the family. Big family secret.
And then the Romans came along and beat up the Macedonians when they got a little bit too smart for the britches.
My bouquet's wilting. I'm going to have to do something with it right away.
So yeah, up until 1492, the dumb people of the world beat up on the smart people. That's just what it went. After 1492, the people who actually learned things, they reached. It's like Revenge
hot
of
out
the
here.
Nerds or something like
But
that.
I don't want to show off my bikini because it's not attractive.
They ended up being just as nasty, you know. Nerds can be nasty too.
Yeah.
So after 1492, they were pretty
I
nasty.
have to do something with this, and it's hot, and I don't want to make pickles today now. Ooh. Canning just makes a hotter house.
Yeah, it
So
does.
good.
I gotta go turn off the.
I'm going to think of something else to do with this.
So I gotta be heading.
Yeah.
So, but I could start picking cherries like tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah, well, if it's not going to rain, we may as well pick cherries here. Sit here.
I think I'll start this evening once the
Yeah.
sun kind of sets down, so I don't have to worry about.
Sunburn? Well, I
Getting
can stick
sunburned.
up the umbrella. We'll be fine. We can do it
I'm
anytime.
talking about picking them.
Oh, I can pick them.